Hey, I'm Paul Rabelais. I'm an estate planning attorney, and for almost 3 decades have been, been fortunate to have lots of initial conversations and, quite frankly, retained lots and lots, thousands of estate planning clients. So I want to share some of those experiences with you. And one of those experiences I want to share is an afternoon I spent in a financial advisor's office. Not lately. I've done some work for this financial advisor's clients, and so he rounded up a couple of his clients that he felt at least had a need to have some estate planning in place, had me come to his office, and had clients come in kind of back to back to back. And so I want to share kind of how those meetings went and maybe how you can learn from my experiences to really improve and enhance your initial prospective estate planning client conversations. So the first of two I'll go over with you. The financial advisor kind of warned me in advance, Paul, these people have limited resources. There's some disability going on, but they got nothing in place. They're what he called they're gonna just want a will. And so we went in there, and I did my thing, and after both meetings, the financial and I together, just us, had a little kind of discussion, because I always want to get feedback from that financial advisor to make sure they felt I kind of performed at a level that at least met or exceeded the financial advisor's expectations. So in the first meeting, afterwards, when the financial advisor and I had our talk, he was like, first thing he said, because he talked to the clients after I left the room to go make some more notes, he said, Paul, they were very pleased with the whole aspect of how your meeting went. And it was kind of funny, because initially when the husband and wife walked in, the husband said, Paul, is that your Range Rover out there? And I said, yeah. And he said, oh, geez, I knew this was going to be expensive. So we kind of laughed about that. But what the financial advisor said was the first thing that impressed him so much was how really so quickly I uncovered the wife's biggest fear. And he said he had never heard that before. And yeah, it had something to do with the fact that the husband had children from a prior marriage, and so there's the potential for really big time fights if he dies first with her and his kids. So, but the way she really kind of let it out really kind of set the tone for the meeting, and it was all about just asking the right questions and listening, so I could ask the right next question, listen to that, and then ask the next right question, and then boom, it all came out. So the other thing the financial advisor said he was impressed with was how I handled the whole will or trust discussion, because the financial advisor made an assumption that these people were just going to want we're going to want wills just to have something in place, and they weren't going to want to get any more complex than that. Not that trusts need to be complex. But he was really impressed. He was like, Paul, I really am impressed with the way you handled that will or trust discussion. And then the third thing he was impressed with was just how I handled the whole fee discussion. And he knew, or a financial advisor felt they were just going to kind of be really, really fee sensitive, maybe not do anything at all, or maybe just look for the cheapest option. But the way it was discussed and presented and gave them options, the clients could not have been more pleased, and they're going to want that maximum protection. So that meeting went fantastic. When we finished that one, we had another one, and really a different conversation. And so couple of things there that the financial advisor told me after that second meeting. He said, Paul, I've met with this couple many, many times, and every time I meet with them regarding their retirement planning and their investments, he says, every time I meet with them, the wife just sits there. She never says anything. I can't believe how actively engaged she was in this estate planning conversation. I've never seen that out of her before. So again, all about asking the right questions, listening, and then asking the right next question got her really wanting to input and be active in the development of a program. Second, said he was impressed with the way I handled the whole kind of liability discussion. Yeah, they had a couple of pieces of very not high worth rental property, and the way he said I led that discussion, just boom. I mean, they made very, very quick decisions. The couple did to engage the appropriate legal services to address that issue. And then the third thing he said he was impressed with was the whole will trust fee discussion, and just the way I handled that, very open, asking questions, presenting options, not ramming things down people's throat. And then maybe overall, with the whole afternoon and all the meetings we had, really what he was getting at and what I think he was impressed by is what I call the 80-20 rule. Everybody's heard of the 80-20 rule, but I think in the estate planning conversation aspect, the 80-20 rule is for it to be a successful initial discussion with a prospective estate planning client. The prospective estate planning client needs to do at least 80% of the talking, and the attorney does at most 20% of the talking. And if you violate that rule, you're going to be missing out on many of the elements that are necessary to have a really productive, really successful first conversation with an estate planning prospective client that immediately turns into and gets a client excited about retaining your services. So I hope that helps. Got a lot more comment. And here's what I'd like you to do. If there's certain information, maybe I touched on something, maybe I didn't, in the comments, make a note of it. I'm kind of looking for material that I can share from my 30 years of experience, thousands of conversations, thousands of new clients, breaking down that initial discussion with the prospective estate planning client. If there's information that you'd want to know and feel like, boy, I could really improve my practice if I got a little better at this, let me know and I'll be happy to share some information on it. I'm Paul Rabelais. Have a great day.